Finally, after 3 weeks of twiddling our thumbs at home, Hype Train FC were back in action as we took on North Berks outfit Grove Rangers in the second round of the Berks and Bucks Junior Cup, which was a follow-up to our 8-1 home win against Barton Rovers in round 1. The week leading up to the game saw a torrential downpour throughout the Reading area, meaning we were unable to host the fixture at our home ground in Calcott, with Grove deserving a lot of respect for being able to reverse the fixture on such short notice on Friday afternoon. Braving the wet and miserable conditions on the road, we lined up with a 4-1-4-1 formation. Jack Roche towered between the goalposts, whilst Robert Austin and Rod Stevens provided defensive cover on the flanks, with captain Alex O'Keefe joined by Martin King in central defence. Tommy Payne was joined by Chris Marshall and Clayton Holloway in central midfield, with Sam Padden and Noah Hodge providing width and support for Leon Mannion in attack. Joe Sawyer, Callum Parr-Jones and Callum Fox-Spence were the lucky ones who got to brave the torrential weather as our substitutes on the day. With the rain pouring in Wantage ahead of kick-off, hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments how you thought we got on the road in our latest cup fixture. Shooting from left to right in the first half, you're joined by myself, Robert Austin, as I walk you through the first half of action in the absence of our VO camera's audio functions, all due to the battering our smart camera took over the course of the game, particularly with a downward turn in the weather in the second half. Grove Rangers started strongly in the opening couple of minutes and were able to eke out a few corners from our defence, though the downward header wasn't able to trouble Jack Roche, who was able to release to Rod Stevens at right back in a comfortable manner. Our first opening of the afternoon fell to Leon Mannion, who was eventually played for on goal by Alex O'Keefe. Leon was able to turn his defender brilliantly, but his cross/shot unfortunately went out for a throw-in. Next, the Grove goalkeeper has the ball in his hands and he punts the ball down the field. The camera catches up the play to see Alex head the ball. Tommy then wins it, and to much to the chagrin of the midfielder for Grove, we play on. Rod Stevens gets the ball and dinks it over the top, and guess who's onto it? Leon's through one-on-one on goal, and his right-footed shot is brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper. And then a little bit of afters means that we win a corner kick after some confusion. We rejoin play from the left-hand side with a throw-in that's eventually cleared out to Clayton Holloway. Clayton looks up, finds Tommy, who then squares back to Rod Stevens. Rod's ball unfortunately goes into no man's land, and the clearance unfortunately is met by a worse touch that falls back out to Clayton. Clayton's touch and look up finds Noah Hodge on the right hand side. Noah can go wide or go central, and he looks up, he finds Tommy Payne, who shoots first time. Tommy's shot, which is going marginally wide, falls straight out to Sam Padden on the left wing. Pads his first time cross, falls right into Leon Mannion for the first goal of the afternoon. That's Leon's 11th goal of the season and his 6th in the BBFA Junior Cup. With the boys in blue 1-0 up, the Grove goalkeeper has the ball at his feet again, but this time his clearance is a little bit wayward and it meets Clayton Holloway. The ball eventually finds itself to Chris Marshall, who then looks up and plays through Leon Mannion, who's only got the goalkeeper and a defender to beat. Leon, with the ball at his feet, checks in, cuts back, and his shot is met brilliantly by the defender. As the first half grew, Grove started to put us under some considerable pressure in the first half, but we were able to find an outlet with Sam Padden winning the ball back in midfield. With Sam looking up, he finds Leon, who then charges down the line. He uses his pace and power to take it easily past one of the defenders, but eventually his shot is once again met by another good save by the goalkeeper. Under relentless pressure as the first half wore on, Grove Rangers eventually dug out their best chance of the first half after a long cross eventually fell to their winger at the back post. His shot took a ricochet off of myself, and then Jack Roche was forced into an incredible save, much to the applause of the team and the guys on the side. After going ahead early in the game, we survived an onslaught from Grove as the half dragged on and somehow went into the break with our clean sheet intact. The break in play was what was needed as we looked to retain and extend our lead in the second half. As the weather starts to deteriorate in the second half, you can begin to see the wind swaying our VO camera from side to side. What you'll also start to notice is the wind on the left hand side began to flood the left lens with drops of water, distorting some of the images and the highlights from the second 45 minutes of action. Sam Padden starts driving down the left wing and he takes 1 and 2 touches by the time he gets to the edge of the box. He looks up, holds off the right back, and he eventually squares it back to myself, with the first time cross falling to the path of Leon Mannion, whose header is just over the bar. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you have to wear the right studs or moulds at a football game. With the weather starting to get a lot worse, the ball eventually trickles out after a goal kick to myself. A long punt down the field is eventually met after the camera catches up, by Leon Mannion. Leon runs through one-on-one at goal. The goalkeeper starts to make his way over to the left post and saves brilliantly from an effort. A loose ball in midfield is collected by Noah Hodge on the left hand side, who takes one touch and then a second before playing through Leon Mannion again. Leon gets the ball and eventually digs it round one of the defenders. He looks up, sets his second touch, but the cross back isn't able to meet Chris Marshall as a brilliant defensive clearance keeps the score at 1-0. We pick up with some loose action in midfield with the boys unable to clear the ball. One of the midfielders for Grove eventually picks up the ball, sets its sights and then eventually plays the ball down the line. I go slip and sliding down the left touch line as the right winger eventually gets the ball. He cuts it back, but the eventual shot by the number 8 trickles harmlessly wide. With the game at a knife edge at this point, Grove have a free kick and they play it straight out to their left central defender, who sets himself and takes one touch before delivering into the back post again. Alex O'Keefe is beaten in the air with a header rebounding straight off the post and into the forward, whose second shot goes narrowly wide at the post. The left camera lens has taken a bit of a battering at this point in the second half, and what you can't see is Leon Mannion stood over a free kick. Eventually, when Leon sets up and strikes the ball, he hits it low and hard into the middle of the goal. The ball rebounds out and Tommy Payne is there to finish it off for our second goal of the game, which is also Tommy's first goal for the club. With the game at 2-0, there was an immediate reaction from Grove Rangers, who drove into the penalty area. Jack Roche, all 6'8" of him, came out and was apparently studs first into the forward, with the referee pointing to the penalty spot immediately. Jack was taken over and given a yellow card for his troubles. After both sides settled down and the penalty was awarded, we eventually waited with bated breath for their forward to take the penalty. Unfortunately for the team, it hit the underside of the post, and then we were able to slowly manage our way out of trouble. Having been provided a get out of jail free card with a penalty miss as well as them hitting the post earlier on in the game, we find ourselves with Noah Hodge carrying the ball down the left wing. Noah eventually takes it past one of the defenders, but he can't make it past a second, who eventually clears the ball. Callum Fox-Spence is on cue to pick up the ball, and then there's a little bit of a scramble going on in midfield with Callum Parr-Jones picking up the ball. He takes one touch, sets himself, and then rifles it under the body of the goalkeeper to make it 3-0. This is also Callum Parr-Jones' second goal in the competition after scoring against Barton in the first round. With the game quickly running away from Grove in the final minutes, a few frustrations start to boil over onto the surface. I find myself getting in front of the forward for a tackle, and he eventually trips me down for the foul. When he doesn't like that I was given a foul, he pulls me up by my shirt. There's also a second instance where I beat the man to the ball and he drags me down, but there's no free kick awarded on this occasion. Part 3 of the trilogy sees Grove on the attack. Their winger tries to beat me for the ball and I end up bringing him down for a yellow card, which means that we end the game with 3 players in the book on our second cup outing of the season. With the game over as a contest, the full-time whistle was a blessing for both teams as we look to get out of the cold and celebrate indoors. The win means that we've progressed to the last 32 of the BBFA Junior Cup, with only 31 teams standing in our way of cup glory. Join us next time with the team competing in cup competitions throughout the majority of November. Until then, believe the hype.